Welcome to the Ask JT podcast, where we simplify tax, finance, and business decisions for UK business owners. I'm Justin Turner, an accountant, business owner, and author. I'm going to share practical advice and help you run your business more efficiently and keep more of what you earn. Every small business hits this point. You're swamped with work. It's just you, maybe and a partner, and work keeps coming in. You're keeping spinning those plates, and someone asks the question, should we hire somebody to help us? Today's episode is inspired by Raymond. He's currently painting my house. He runs a decorating business as a sole trader, and on paper, he's absolutely flying. He's swamped with work. He's got clients on a waiting list. This sounds perfect, doesn't it? Right? Except he can't have a day off. If a job runs over, he's in big trouble. And if there's a family emergency, then he's really stuck. Raymond asked me the other day how my wife, Sue, and I made the step from just us into hiring our first member of staff. So I'm going to share exactly that, what we got right, what we learned, and some lessons that I'd give to anyone at that stage. So here's the hard truth. And this is what I told Raymond the other day, and it may shock you. Go into hiring assuming you're going to be a bad employer at first. Yes, I just said you're going to be a bad employer at first. Let me give you an example. Another client of mine went through 6 apprentices in 2 years. He said young people just don't know how to work. I asked him, have you ever thought that you might be the problem? He was really shocked that I dared say that to him. And the reality is this, is you've probably trained in your skill. That could be decorating, it could be plumbing, it could be accountancy, it could be cooking. You've done the hours. You've maybe even done the qualifications. But staff management, you've probably not read a single book, never done any training, yet suddenly you're responsible for HR, insurance, health and safety, payroll, holidays, and even a bit of psychology along the way. So don't assume you're going to be good at it on day one. It's just not possible. Assume you won't be, and then work every single day to get better. Management is harder than you think, and you need to have a quick reality check. And let me give you some examples. In the UK, the average employee took around 9 sick days in 2024. 9 sick days. The top reasons? Stress, being overworked. That's not being lazy. That's often poor management. And only about a quarter of staff say their managers are effective. A quarter of staff. I mean, that's a really terrible statistic, which means most bosses, especially in small business, are just winging it. I've probably read about 30 books on managing people. I still get things wrong. But because take it seriously, I've managed to build a culture where sick days are low. There's 9 members of staff in my team last year. We had just 3 or 4 sick days in total across the whole team. So let me tell you the story of taking someone on where it's really, really worked for me. When it's just you and you're bringing in your first team member, choosing the right person is absolutely critical. And I want to tell you about Nicola. So Nicola's worked with me for over 10 years now. She had no accountancy experience beyond studying AAT in her own time. Her background was retail. She was doing a pretty menial job for a large UK retailer. She was a single mum. She was up at 5 a.m. taking her daughter to swim training. In the interview, she told me how she'd studied around parenting and working. She also said she wasn't great at IT. We were an early stage accountancy firm putting technology front and center. You're probably thinking, why on earth did you hire her? No experience, not great with tech, and clearly spinning all of these plates in her personal life. Because I wasn't looking for qualifications. All I could see was discipline, grit, honesty, and motivation. I can teach knowledge. It's so difficult to teach someone to have honesty or motivation or discipline or grit. So I spent months training Nicola. At the time, it felt like an absolute eternity, and my own productivity dipped, but the payoff has lasted 4 years. It's not just with Nicola either, it's with others in my team, like Adam or Dan. I invested training time to help them operate independently of me. That training commitment should never be underestimated, especially with apprentices. I'm going to circle back to apprentices in another episode, as I think it's a really important subject. So make sure you've subscribed so you get notified when that one comes out. Financially, those first hires were never easy. Profit always dipped. I pulled away from doing fee earning work into doing training. I've never regretted the stress because after every successful hire, the business has grown. To wrap up today, I want to tell you about some lessons, and I've got 5 lessons for you to help you take that leap. Lesson 1 is accept that you're going to make mistakes. Don't use the "I'm new at this" as an excuse. Educate yourself on management. Couple of good books, podcasts, a blog, they can really change the way that you're going to lead and manage people. The second lesson is hire for character and potential, not just skills. You can train skills. It's much harder to train grit, honesty, and determination. The third lesson is budget time for training. Progress will feel slower. Expect a temporary step back so you can leap forward later down the line. Put training blocks in the diary, like when you're doing client work. If you're a decorator, you'll have booked time out in your diary to make sure you're doing something similar to that. Lesson 4, expect productivity to dip at first, even with experienced hires. Experienced hires still need time to learn how your business works, your standards, your clients, your systems. Lesson 5, put simple structure in place early. Basic job scorecards, a weekly one-to-one, written processes for the top 5 tasks. Boring? Maybe. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed by this, then watch my video on motivation because I talk about systems. I'll show you how to build up simple systems, set out my goals and my purpose in order to keep me on track. And I think it can really help you, especially if you're thinking about taking on your first hire. Thanks for listening. If this helped you, the best way to help me back is to like and subscribe, leave a comment or share it with another business owner. Thanks for listening to the Ask JT podcast. Subscribe for a weekly episode, and if you found this useful, share it with a fellow business owner who might benefit.